Winners are picked from our comments section, but they will only be notified of their win in our videos, meaning when you're watching a video, if you won, it'll be mentioned in there, whoever the winners are, as they do win. So you must subscribe and hit the bell so that you know when new videos come out. This means you also need to type a comment, and we would love it if you'd participate. So thank you for watching. Today we're going to do a short range test and see how the battery is affected in my 2021 Model 3, doing a simple 10-kilometer there and back total trip to Walmart and back. We're going to see what the starting point is, how the battery is affected, what the current state of charge is, and where we end up. So here we go, real world test. Let's see what happens. My location, and we're doing this with Google. I'm going to take a very short 5.3 kilometer drive, and we will see how much battery my 2021 Model 3 takes up going on this drive to Walmart for a pickup. So as you can see, we have 35% charge. It is temperature 11 Celsius, 9:53 a.m. and at 35% charge we're going to go and we're going to take our drive to Walmart, do that approximately 5 kilometers or 2.5 miles or so, and see in real world conditions what this mini test does to the battery. Alright, so you're basically going to have the passenger view of this 10-kilometer little drive total that we're going to do there and back. We're at a current state of charge of 35%. We're just going to Walmart, and we're going to see how again, it's 11 degrees Celsius, a little over 50 Fahrenheit, and we're going to see how the battery is affected with some moderate driving, nothing crazy. You know, a lot of the different videos that I watch on range, I don't think are done quite in the way that I'm going to be doing this range series, where I'm going to apply it to real world use, because I think new owners or people that are considering becoming an owner, there's a lot of things that they don't take into account. And today I'm going to focus on mostly a short trip, as I've already stated, but one fact that I don't think crosses many people's minds, I know it didn't cross mine, and that's that with an ICE car, with a gas car, when it's parked, you're not really losing any gas, you're not losing any mileage. And with an electric car, you are, no, whether you use the car or not, and again, I'm not knocking EVs, obviously I'm pro EV, but it's just something that's, you know, I don't think most people realize, you will lose battery even if the car sits, and you will lose it at a clip of 1% per evening, meaning the next morning you'll wake up and likely you'll see 1% less, and that's if you're in temperatures of anywhere from 40 degrees Fahrenheit, so about 6, 7, 8 degrees Celsius, all the way to about 52 or so Fahrenheit. You will lose 1% of your battery. This is if you have Sentry mode off. If you have Sentry mode on, you're going to end up losing 4 to 5%, typically 5% of your total battery, and this is if you're parked outdoors in that temperature, in that range. That's what's going to happen. So what I'm trying to say is, if you want to only lose 1% when the car is not moving, turn off Sentry mode and you'll witness a 1% loss with those types of temperatures. Another thing to remember also, which, you know, I think a lot of people really also don't realize, is that it's not just about when you're sitting and the car's, you know, for all intents purposes off. It's also when you're sitting, and similar to a gas car, an ICE car, that you're in the car not driving, you're still using power. You're still going to lose a little bit of battery, not very much, it's very negligible, but you still will definitely lose some. So we're currently, you probably can't see it, but we're still at a 35% rate of charge, and we're still going to our destination, which is a simple Walmart pickup. I love the regen. I don't know if you could see how quickly that slows down. I did not touch the brake there at all. And the regen is one of the coolest feelings when you're driving and you just nicely let off the gas, and without doing anything, you don't have to touch your brake, you're slowing down and you're feeding energy back into the battery. So 35% state of charge still. Use a little bit of autopilot, so all you do is double down on the gear stalk, so you push it down twice. I'm just getting to the speed limit, and as long as you see that blue wheel turn blue, it means the car is steering. I'm not steering the car. I have my hand on the bottom part of the wheel because I find that if you rest it there on the Model 3, not sure about the others, you don't need to, you won't get that message to keep touching the steering wheel again, so autopilot and steering does not go off, because I think the weight of your hand in that position is enough to satisfy the system. So we're cruising along at 62 kilometers. The speed limit here is 60, and we are just after this next traffic light, which we're approaching. We're going to make a right, and we're going to end up on a slow motion 30 kilometer an hour street, which will take us very close to the end of the first half of our trip, which is the 5 kilometers destination towards the Walmart pickup. So here I'm going to hit the brakes, and that takes off autopilot. You'll notice that when you do need to brake suddenly or quickly, you will need to use the brakes, because the regenerative braking won't react quickly enough. We just went down to 34%, by the way, current state of charge. And also, if you're driving very, very fast, very spirited, and you're accelerating crazily, you'll have to use another time you'll have to use your brakes a lot, because the regenerative braking will not kick in fast enough when you're, speeding up very, very quickly, or full throttling, or almost full throttling, or half throttling the car to stall starts. Basically, start stop is what I really meant to say there. So what I like to do here in an instance like this is I'll click once for the down on the stalk for autopilot, and just let the car keep itself at the speed limit. I don't use the auto steer function that much in the city, because what ends up happening is you end up needing to disengage a lot, because this is not FSD, it's just autopilot, and I find it annoying to have to disengage by turning the wheel, hitting the brake, and then maybe hitting the stalk again, another double tap to restart it again. So I find myself really using it much more on the highway than I ever do in the city. What it will do is it will pace the car in front of you. So if there is a car in front of you and you have cruise on, it will slow down to pace that car. And I can feel it as I'm driving, just because of the GMC truck, the SUV in front. It is pacing off of his speed, and I expect that when I get to the stop sign, now keep in mind with Autopilot, it's not going to stop the car for you in this case because of a stop sign, but it's going to slow down and pace because of what's in front of it. But as soon as these cars move and start going, the Autopilot feature within the cruise control is going to go to the stop sign, but it's going to leave it up to me to hit the brake and stop, because the car is no longer pacing another car. It's out of range, the other car that is. So now we're almost here at Walmart. We're going to make a right over here. Current temperature is still 11 degrees Celsius. We've got a 34% state of charge still. And we got the light. And regen did it again. I did not hit the brakes. I was going at a decent speed rate there too. And the car stopped in time without me needing to do a single thing. Pretty cool. I've had the car now since Christmas Eve 2020, and it still feels, I don't know if new is the right word. I mean, I'm used to the car, but the novelty of just all the little nuances, the things that the car does so well that I've discussed during this video, the nuances are so cool that they never get old. I think that, I mean, I guess at some point they will, but you know, with other cars I've had, and I've driven them all, after January, February, March, and we're going on month 4, the novelty kind of starts to wear off a little bit, but with this Model 3, it really hasn't. Still 34% state of charge. And we've done our 5 kilometers. And you'll see the Walmart sign in a moment, I think. I think it'll be in camera view, it should be. And what I'm going to do is when I pull over here, I'm going to stop filming just because I'm going to wait to resume filming once they actually come and deliver to the car. I'm going to pull over here in stall number 8. Alright, so we're done with Walmart. We're loaded up. We're still at 34% charge, and I'm going to back out of the spot and head back and do our 5 more kilometers to complete our 10-kilometer battery micro test, which is about 5 miles, a little approximately 5 miles total. Oh, we got another degree. We're 12 degrees now. Maybe 53 Fahrenheit, 54 approximately. going to make a right at the stop sign here. And we're not going to go down that 30-kilometer street on the way back. It makes more sense to make a left here and go a different way, but it's still around the same amount of mileage. Do you know what part of the country you're in? North America, United States, Australia, United Kingdom. If I missed you, I apologize. But what I'm trying to say is it's nice to have the weather start to make you feel good. You know, there's parts of the world obviously where it's nice and warm all the time, but here in Quebec it's cold and nasty in the winter time, and it's very, very nice to, like yesterday was about 70 degrees and it felt even warmer than that. It was nice to be able to get out and just enjoy our backyard and our house and just enjoy the nice fresh spring air. So we're currently at a 34% charge, state of charge still. We've popped up that extra degree, so we're sitting at 12 Celsius, and we're on our way back from the Walmart pickup. I know it's boring to just watch me driving, but you know, you may or may not see or hear this part of the video. I'll probably keep it in because I just want to show you that the amount of time spent is bang on in terms of the mini test and how much actual time was spent driving. But what I may or may not do, you may not hear the audio part, or some parts I may just substitute it with maybe some background music just to make it a little more interesting, and maybe I won't, I don't know, so we'll see what happens with the editing. I like to not do too much editing. Makes it easier to produce the footage, even though it's time consuming to produce it, and I do enjoy producing it, but I have an internet business to run, and I have a family, and like many of you, and there's a lot of other things that happen throughout the course of a day, so that's the reason for that. I would love to do even more editing, and I suppose if I really wanted to badly enough, I mean, listen, I make many things work in my day, so I could make that work as well. And if the videos are enjoyed, then I guess I will, you know, start to put, of course, more into them. And I do appreciate you watching and subscribing, liking, and commenting on the videos. So this light is typically a very short light, and I love short lights, so I thought I would just point that out. I'm sure nobody likes the traffic lights that take forever, where you're sitting there for 2 minutes and it feels like you're there for 20 minutes. So we're now at a 33% state of charge, 12 degrees, and I would say that we're more than halfway back, and that means that we'll soon have completed our 10-kilometer mini range real life battery test on the 2021 Model 3 SR Plus. Another thing I was very impressed with the car, because I was driving a C43 AMG Mercedes before the Model 3, and you know, my low profile tires that I had on that car took a beating. I went through at least 7 or 8 different tires, the mags also multiple times, at least 5 sets of mags. So here I went for the 18-inch instead of the and I don't really remember offhand right now, I think there were 21-inch tires on the other car, the C43 AMG Mercedes, but I went for the 18-inch because I figured that couple things. The potholes are not going to eat into these tires. They're not low profile. They still look great. The car, I figured, would also handle great just because of what Tesla's trying to do. And you know what? The car handles more than great. The all-season tires that come with this car will really, and I never thought I would say this about all seasons on a car, I mean, they will blow your mind in the sense that they handle like a sport tire, like a summer tire on the car, and I'm perfectly fine with, and yes, you can always get better performance and with more, you know, performance rated tires, but you know, it handles very well. It really sticks to the road like glue, and for the extra sticking like glue, I can forego it because I'm not interested in having to go and change, you know, blown out mags and tires over and over again. It takes away from the fun of driving the car, whatever car that might be. So I thought I would share that with you. We're still at 33% charge. Now it's 13 degrees Celsius. Temperature's steadily going up. It's going to be another beautiful day here in Quebec, and we're holding our state of charge quite nicely, as we should, because this trip was really a very short micro range test for a little real world taste of a little errand and what that means for your battery, and in this case in a 2021 Model 3 SR Plus. And we're almost coming to the end of our journey, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a close-up of the monitor so that you can see when we're done our journey where we sit with our battery percentage. And I'm also going to take a look at my phone and see the exact time that I've been in the car. I think it's been about 30 minutes if I was going to guess, and if I can nail it down and tell you more specifically, I will. I may actually do that at the end of the video in another frame, or maybe I'll do it now if it makes sense. Let's see. And turn Sentry mode off. Alright, so we've completed our 10-kilometer trip for our errand to Walmart, and we're now sitting at a 33% state of charge, as you can see, and we are at 13 Celsius, so we didn't lose very much. And this is again the 2021 Model 3 SR Plus. Walmart errand micro range test, real world use. We did about 23 minutes actual driving, 10 minutes standby in the car, not moving, minus 2% range used. Outside temperatures ranged from 11 degrees Celsius when we first started, a little over 50 Fahrenheit, to they rose to 13 Celsius, maybe 54, 55 approximately Fahrenheit. So
35% state of charge when we started the micro test, and at the end of the test we had used 33%. So that's the end of our micro range cooler temps test on the Model 3 2021 SR Plus. Thanks for watching.